Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and it was a baseball night last night. My 8-year-old, just so you know, in his coach pitch league, this kid is about 6 games into it and is batting 1,000. He has never not gotten on base. And that's what happens when you throw 6 buckets of balls to your son year around, even when it's not baseball season from the time he's 5 years old. The kid is literally batting 1,000 after 6 games. You don't see that very much, but I'm proud of the kid. All right, enough of that. Here we go. And by the way, my brisket was so good this weekend that I am seriously contemplating cooking another brisket. And the reason is because this weekend, I believe, is the Georgia-Auburn game, which is the biggest deal in this part of the world. Okay, let's get going here. Bitcoin and this is Forbes Crypto. Bitcoin and blockchain are the future of Twitter. CEO Jack Dorsey reveals. So the CEO of Twitter is all in on Bitcoin, okay? We kind of have known this, so I'm not going to go into that article, but I wanted to just hit that. Riz XRP sent me this. Now, this I found interesting. It was from an article on ZY Crypto, and there could be nothing to this, but I just thought this, you know, a lot of times where there's smoke, there's fire, so it interested me. It says, following these comments, Ripple's rumor mill is now churning out gossip that the company could be planning to acquire crypto lender Nexo. I've never heard anything like this. Others even suggested that Ripple could strike a deal with a large tech company like Google, Facebook, or Amazon. Have no idea if there's anything to any of that, but it's interesting because there's a lot of mystery in where Ripple goes next. But just by pure coincidence, they mentioned Nexo there. By pure coincidence, this person asked Nexo when they'll be supporting Flare Networks, and Nexo replies, "We are in active communication with the CEO of Flare." I was getting a call there. "We are in active communication with the CEO of Flare Network, discussing the details and intricacies of their project. Furthermore, as announced in another tweet, the snapshot of XRP Ledger for Spark distribution will be taken on December 12th, 2020. So Nexo is talking to them. That's a good thing. I'm sitting here looking. Okay, I did get a text from my wife. Anyway. All right, moving along. XRP Crypto Wolf. 1.5 billion XRP are set up to claim the Spark token airdrop. 24,261 XRP accounts are set up to claim Spark, and 6,522 new XRP accounts have been created since Flare's announcement. XRP holdings increased by 88.7 million since Flare Networks announced the Spark airdrop. Just so you know, folks, I am not set up to receive the Flare drop. I'm watching this thing unfold right now. But most likely, chances are I will be positioned in December when the time comes. I'm really waiting to see what options there are available. I'm not moving anything until I really watch this for a while. Okay, that's just what I'm doing. All right, now moving along. California Governor Gavin Newsom has signed a bill into state law that will bring new powers to regulate the cryptocurrency industry. Now, I wouldn't hold my breath on any of this because anytime something's happening in California, it's typically to regulate more and to provide less freedom, because the people out in California, they like to tax you and regulate you to death. And so I don't see anything too good coming out of California as far as regulations, but I could be surprised. XRP Crypto Wolf, U.S. Fintech Task Force Chairman Representative Stephen Lynch will hold a congressional hearing with Tom Emmer, who's the guy that said XRP is not a security, on a video call with Brad Garlinghouse at 12 p.m. Eastern Time for granting bank charters to crypto firms. And this is going to be today, I guess. Okay, another one. You got to see this. Chris Brummer. This is registration for the DC Fintech Week is open. From remarks on Libra with Switzerland's top regulator to a talk on the future of M-Pesa with Kenya's central bank chief, we will be hosting a world-class conversation with thought leaders from around the world. Once again, we have Brad Garlinghouse right in the middle of all of these powerhouses. This is a guy from the Department of the Treasury. Let's just look around. There's Kahina Van Dyke, who's now the global head, digital channels and client data analytics Standard Chartered Bank. She's the one that Brad Garlinghouse said will be just a node on the network away over at Standard Chartered. And then we have, let's see if I see any interesting ones here. Department of Financial Services, Central Bank of Kenya, Financial Stability, Bank of England. There's Brad Garlinghouse. There's someone from Google Cloud. Let's see, Central Bank of Sweden, IBM, acting comptroller of the currency, Brian Brooks. What do you know? There's somebody else from the Treasury, BIS, FinCEN, CFTC. Does my son need to draw you another picture? I mean, come on, folks. What? I mean, how many times do you need to see Brad Garlinghouse sitting in the middle of some of the most powerful people in finance in the entire world for you not to see what's happening? And we're starting to see Stellar pop up in these same circles. I'll keep reminding you of that. Endgame, hashtag zero doubt. There was an article that came out yesterday evening, I believe, on the XRP Ledger Foundation. The next step of XRP decentralization. This is mainly a technical article. I'm not going to go into that, but there was an overall kind of theme. There's really, I think, two camps that are going to be created from this. One is these anti-Ripple, anti-XRP people. They're going to point out and say, see, Ripple never cared about XRP. It's a separate thing. No, well, they're wrong. The correct way of thinking is this has been the plan all along, is to push the XRP ledger off away from Ripple, almost like pushing a raft into the ocean is the way I think of it. They're pushing it off because they were not and are not going to go public and be forever tied to the XRP ledger. They're going to build on the XRP ledger, but they don't want to be Ripple and the XRP ledger. That's what it's been about all along. Now, so that's more or less what this article is about, is them saying, look, this is going to make XRP more decentralized. And that's what it's been all about. Remember, we've watched video after video over the last 2 years where we've even seen the SEC chairman, I believe, say that, look, it is possible that you can be a security at one point and over time, things happen and things change and you're not a security. And I've always felt like Ripple was given a checklist by the SEC. And we know that they met with the SEC because we've shown that on this channel before. There were actual schedules from, I believe it was the SEC that we've shown, where Brad Garlinghouse, David Schwartz, people like that have gone and met with the highest powers, even the assistant to the White House, to the president. Okay, Ganesh Harameth, breaking, a leading Indian newspaper, Economic Times, has published this today. National Strategy on Blockchain and Central Bank Digital INR. Look at this. Blockchain and financial applications. Ripple Labs and R3 Corda have led these consortia globally. An SBI-led consortium among Indian banks. Down here. However, the financial organization serving as the intermediary has to be in tune with regulatory environment to avoid any legal issues. So then we go down to here. Inter-network relationship-driven consensus protocols, Byzantine agreement. Ripple uses probabilistic voting mechanisms, and Stellar consensus protocol uses federate Byzantine agreement protocol. Funny, they're both being mentioned. Stellar, all of a sudden, it's like Stellar's been activated or something. All of a sudden, Stellar is popping up right alongside Ripple in all of these conversations, almost as if by design, like brother and sister were there together all along. Okay, check this out. There is a theory, folks, that Bitcoin becomes the Napster of digital assets. It should be. Now, what this will come down to is how successful the Barry Silberts of the world are in marketing Bitcoin as drop gold and this is your new store of value. But make no mistake, the Barry Silberts of the world know that Bitcoin is a dinosaur technology. They know that it's a Napster. It's just a matter of whether they're able to successfully market it as this store of value. I believe that there's enough powerful people involved that they'll be able to. We shall see, but listen to this.
So as we were saying before, it's critical from our standpoint. And I think one of the things that we've seen early on is that the blockchain movement, starting with Bitcoin, kind of went in the face of regulation. There's some discussion out there that you could actually see where it's almost like the Napster, where it was the first one, it was the innovative, it created the movement, but then because it didn't kind of work within the regulatory framework, it ends on that basis. You have to work within the regulatory framework.
Yeah, and real XRP boy, I think, is onto something because he's kind of saying, what is it that Brad and them know that we don't know? Listen to this.
Nakamoto is the moniker assigned to that. Is that a person? Is that a group of people? I don't know.
Homme de guerre.
Yes. Someone obviously knows, and there are various theories about what group of people. I happen to believe it's probably 2 or 3 people who represent what is Satoshi Nakamoto, and maybe one day we'll know the truth.
Or 2 or 3 governments, maybe. And then there was this. I showed you yesterday. Jed McCaleb knew way back in 2014 about how Bitcoin ends.
There's a first iteration, and then like people improve upon it and make better and better versions. So I was just thinking about ways to improve upon Bitcoin and namely get rid of the mining, which I think is a big problem, both in terms of environment and environmental impact and economic impact and the fact that it'll actually will break in the long term, but
will break in the long term. Moving along, Joni Gilbronson sent me this. Ripple partner ACI Worldwide teams up with MasterCard to create new payment solutions globally. That should be interesting to keep your eye on. Then Jonathan D sent me this. Digital security exchanges that go to links to ensure listed assets are legitimate will not face action. The SEC said in an open letter. They are gearing up for these digital assets to be traded along with everything at these traditional places like Morgan Stanley, E-Trade, TD Ameritrade. And they are obviously trying to approach this in a way that says, look, we're going to give you some compliance guidelines, and as long as you follow them, we're not coming after you or anything. It's almost like they're approaching it and letting everybody know, look, we know this is a new thing, and we know there are going to be mistakes made, but you just have a track record of trying to do this legitimately, and we're not going to be coming down on you. That's the impression I get. I think they know this is about to change the entire world, and so they need to have that kind of approach. Now, with everything that's going on and has been going on for the last few months, we need to revisit some of the things that Jim Rickards has said in the past, because I know he's connected all the way to the top. I think he's known things for a long time. Listen and see if there's any things that he's saying from any of these videos we've shown before. I'm going to show you 2 clips, and you tell me, did this guy call it, or is there anything he's saying that we're watching unfold right now? Watch this. And it's a sideways video, sorry.
Nature would have let it fail.
Well, they should have let it fail. Now, I don't think we should have allowed ourselves to go into something worse than the Great Depression. There was a solution on the table that they never pursued because of cronyism. See, now we're getting into the gangster side of it, the cronyism side. So what they should have done, by executive order, and the legal authority was there, they could have nationalized all the big banks. Not permanently, because I'm not in favor of socialism, but temporarily nationalize them.
And cleaned them up.
What you do is you wipe out the equity. First of all, you rip out the bad assets, and you put them over here in trust for the American people. So it might take 20 years to sell them, but whenever we sell them, that money goes to you, the taxpayers. Over here, we now have a clean bank. Equity, you're wiped out. Bondholders, how big's the hole in the balance sheet? 20% haircut, 40% haircut, whatever it takes. Preferred stock, you're probably wiped out. Put the losses where they should be. Put the losses on the people who deserve it, which are the stakeholders in the institution. So now you get rid of the bad assets, you wipe out the equity, you now IPO a clean bank to raise new equity, and you start over with Citibank and Goldman, all these guys private, with new owners and clean balance sheets, and we can get the economy moving again.
Okay.
That is not what happened. What did they do? They took the TARP money. By the way, TARP was the greatest bait and switch.
TARP was the greatest bait and switch. And then he said this. Does anybody remember this? Listen close, folks.
But my point is, I came away from all three meetings convinced of one thing. When the next crisis hits, the elites are planning to freeze the financial system, and they'll replace it with a new system, one not based on the U.S. dollar. When that happens, we'll wake up to a very strange and disturbing new reality.
And for our viewers that are watching today, what might their reality look like that morning? How does this manifest?
First, they'll have gone to bed knowing that a massive financial crisis was underway. But when they wake up, they'll find it has worsened and the contagion has spread worldwide. When they go to withdraw money, their ATM will say, closed temporarily. When they go to sell stocks...
Let's look at something real quick. He said they'll go to the ATM and it'll say closed temporarily. This is from today, or yesterday. Just in, Chase started to secretly close numerous branches throughout New York and California.
Their account will say, transaction not available. When they go to their local business, that business will only accept cash if it's open. As citizens realize they're being barred from their money, riots will erupt. It's going to get really bad.
Have we seen any riots?
Bad really quickly.
How would such a freeze actually work? And wouldn't that be highly illegal?
Well, it wouldn't be illegal technically because they've been quietly laying the groundwork for years. They've rigged the financial laws, changed the rules of the game to allow this to happen. The stage is set. They have the levers in place. The lights are positioned. Now someone just needs to flick a switch and they'll impose ICE 9 rapidly. And again, all of this will be legal because they've rigged the system in their favor. Here in the U.S., for example, Congress pushed through something called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEPA. This allows the government to freeze accounts, assets, even whole institutions at will. The only condition is that there's some threat to national security with a foreign connection. Of course, with a global market, every financial crisis has a foreign connection. Any systemic crisis fits the bill. And the thing is, when the next crisis hits, it's going to be so bad, President Trump won't have any choice but to go along with the elite's plan.
Wow.
That's pretty interesting stuff. Okay. So there's that. And next, Jim Cramer this morning. Every 10 years you see Jim Cramer come out and all of a sudden he's calling it like he sees it instead of towing the Federal Reserve and the powers that be line. But today he says, done supporting the, quote, system, I have had to lay off people and it's crushing them and me. And basically he must have either gone on a rant this morning or something. And you may remember the last time that Jim Cramer actually told it like it was instead of doing as he's told and being patted on the head and told he's a good little boy. This is when he told the real truth.
He has no idea.
Cramer.
I have talked to the heads of almost every single one of these firms in the last...
This is from the financial crisis of 2008, by the way.
72 hours, and he has no idea what it's like out there. None! And Bill Poole has no idea what it's like out there. My people have been in this game for 25 years, and they are losing their jobs, and these firms are going to go out of business, and he's nuts! They're nuts! They know nothing!
Cramer.
I have not seen it like this since I went 5 bid for 500,000 shares of Citigroup when I got hit in 1990. This is a different kind of market, and the Fed is asleep.
These guys are used to the money being easy. They're used to being able to play the game. He didn't like it when when everybody wasn't playing the game to make it easy for him. Now, Michael at VAL5 links, hackers targeted a smart contract vulnerability in an upcoming project by Yearn founder Andre Cronje. They managed to steal over $15 million, but returned $8 million to a wallet owned by Cronje. I guess that's how you say his name. Probably not. I'm sure I butchered that. But anyway, look, folks, this is something you have to remember is that when this market, and it is going to take off, but when this market starts to really take flight, the hackers come out of the woodwork. And so you need to do several things. One is that you need to have your stuff on a Ledger Nano S offline. Okay. But there are other things that you need to do. I have antivirus software. I have a VPN. I've still got this in the description of all my videos. There's a 99-cent 77-day trial on Pure VPN. This is a way to Mask your IP address so that hackers can't see where you are. It's a dangerous world we live in. You need to make sure that you have a VPN. It's called a virtual private network. Pure VPN is in the description of all the videos I do. There's a link. It'll take you right there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that if they don't have a VPN, they should get one. Thanks for watching.
Every day, billions of people around the world are mocked, ridiculed, laughed at, and embarrassed by their friends, family, and even strangers. These people go through their days knowing there are secrets being kept from them. They hear the faint whispers behind closed doors. The information and knowledge is held very close and only shared with others who were fortunate enough to find out. Feeling lost, rejected, and ostracized, these people give up, never finding out what digital assets the digital asset investor holds. But there is hope. Join the free Digital Asset Investor email newsletter and find out what digital assets he owns each month, including investments he's considering. Click the link in the description of this video or go to digitalassetinvestornewsletter.com. Put an end to your days of gloom and depression. Join the greatest free digital asset email newsletter ever created.